concerns that have been fabricated. Iran is trying to be very much open. Iran is trying to be very much transparent. Let me tell you about a big lie that Americans are telling the world today. The U.S. administration, that it is claiming to be a superpower and it is just boasting of its military power and its economy. The United States is telling the world that we have managed to stop half of Iran centrifuges from spinning. I talked to Dr. Salehi, he's the head of the Atomic Energy Organization of Iran, and he told me that the 18,000+ centrifuges that Iran has had in operation, half of them were already not operating because Iran had not injected gas into them. So it's not about the recent nuclear deal between Iran and the P5+1. It's a decision that was made in the previous government, the government of President Ahmadinejad, and Iran at that time decided not to inject gas into those centrifuges. So the United States did not manage to prevent those centrifuges from becoming operational. Iran voluntarily decided to do that, not today, not yesterday, 6 months ago. So what I'm trying to say is that the United States is trying to hype up the situation, is trying to tell the world that it has managed to gain something, it has managed to strike a face-saving deal with Iran. But what happened on the ground is that Iran just accepted to be more transparent, and the United States accepted to lift its illegal sanctions against the Iranian nation.
Well, Mr. Weiss, now Mr. Emadi talked about that, that Iran is ready to interact and wants to interact with the world. And what the leader of the Islamic Revolution said today was that when a country such as Iran tries to show and maintain their independence, they're automatically labeled as a pariah and basically as if this country chooses to remove itself from the international community, when in the reality it is the United States and its allies who basically create this negative image because of their own interests. Your take on that, sir?
I agree that Iran is seeking to engage with the wider world. We've seen this in evidence in a number of areas: the United Nations, Iran's achievements in outer space exploration, and engagement with some of its northern neighbors, as well as in the Persian Gulf. And I mean, in principle, the United States and other countries have nothing against this. There is the caveat that the U.S. itself has said that they will limit cooperation with Iran until we reach a resolution of the nuclear deal because it's so important.
Your take, Mr. Mahdi, on our guest's statement.
Well, the United States President, Barack Obama, needs to remember that the Iranians are monitoring the situation very closely. The Iranian nation are very much politically motivated people. You know, they read news every day, they watch television, they follow all the stories. And when it comes to the United States raising those concerns, those fabricated concerns again and again, and the United States even insulting the Iranian nation, President Obama needs to know that he has to do something for Wendy Sherman to somehow shut her mouth and not insult the Iranian nations anymore.
Well, let's look at Mr. Weiss. We look at now the Iranian nation is in the process of celebrating the 35th anniversary of the victory of the Islamic Revolution. Do you think that the United States has come to terms that Iran is a sovereign nation and that Washington is actually willing to respect the sovereignty of the Islamic Republic of Iran?
Yes, I think that it's important for all of us, including the other speaker, to remember that there's a difference in what some people in President Obama's cabinet say and what President Obama himself has been saying. President Obama, as far as I'm aware, has never actually called for regime change or made insulting remarks about the Iranian nation. As you recall, he tries to congratulate the Iranian people on Nowruz, for example. I'm not sure if he will mark the anniversary of the revolution, since in the U.S. mind it's linked with the seizure of the American hostages and other elements, just as in Iran it's linked with Shah and so on, taking refuge in the U.S. So it's a complicated episode in our history. But as you said, it's been 35 years, and I think in the U.S. they come to terms that this is the Iranian regime they will have to deal with indefinitely, and so we should try and reach an agreement with them on nuclear issues and perhaps other issues of mutual concern, Afghanistan, Iraq, and so on.
Mr. Emadi, our guest, though, in Washington has said that, as far as he knows, Mr. Obama has not made any negative statements. But we also know that Mr. Obama himself also talked about all options still being on the table. So your take, sir, overall, do you think...
That is insulting.
Yeah, do you think that Washington is willing, ready, and able to respect the Islamic Republic of Iran for what it is, an independent country that is willing to interact with the world, but on equal terms?
Well, the United States does not respect any country on planet Earth. The United States easily violates international law, sends drones to assassinate people in other countries, doesn't have any respect for the territorial integrity of other countries. The United States is talking about containing Iran's military power, containing Iran's defense power. Iran ranks sixth in the world in terms of missile technology. The United States cannot do anything about Iran's military might. Iran is a powerful country. Iran militarily can defend itself, and the United States needs to understand that and stop that rhetoric against Iran and the Iranian nation.
And on that note, I'd like to thank both my guests for being with me. From the Press TV's newsroom director, Mr. Hamid Reza Emadi, right here in the studios in Tehran, and senior fellow of the Hudson Institute, Mr. Richard White in Washington, D.C. And as always, viewers, I'd like to thank you for being with us, and make sure you join us right here, same place, same time tomorrow for another debate. I'm Marzieh Hashemi, signing out for myself and all the crew right here in Tehran. Thank you so much for being with us, and goodbye.